Hey guys, hello and welcome to a sort of tutorial and quick look at how to make your own Dark Decade with the new version of Kamen Decade S.H.Figuarts. Here, the evil skeleton thing going on. So, in front of you, there is a finished painted Kamen Dark Decade in front of you, and saying that twice for no reason. And so I just want to go through some of the paint ideas before going into the assembly part. So let's go for the paints that I use. For the main body paint, I use this Gaia color right here. I can get this on Hong Kong. I find this to be a lot better than any of the other color brands that you can easily get in Hong Kong. Of course, in a few Western countries, I recommend Games Workshop paints. I know they're very expensive and they most likely are overpriced, but for me they were never any hassle. They're very easy to use, so I recommend those if you're overseas. But if you're in Asia, Japan, I recommend Gaia Color. I managed to get some of these from Fuk Lee Models in S.H.Figuarts. Fuk Lee Models in S.H.Figuarts. They have a Facebook page, you can check that out. Other model, there is a street somewhere near Mongkok where it's all full of model shops and stuff. I'm sure they have more paint selections there, so you can head over there. I forget where that is, so you Google it and stuff, but this is the main color. I actually cut most of the label off because I like seeing the rest of the glass jar, so but this is the front label. This is 075 neutral grey in gloss. So, because Decade's suit is glossy. Next paint that's important for the eyes, the compound eyes, transparent clear blue X23 from Tayama Colors. I did say I don't like these too much, but the transparent one does seem to be okay. So this one's okay, and plus I got this before, so I'm not getting another jar of clear blue paint just for a tiny bit of application, so that one's fine. Next we have, I got a Gaia color of just metallic bright silver. Bright silver to 009. Of course, if you can get Bandai marker pens or Bandai silver, that's totally fine. I've ran out of Bandai silver marker pens, the Gundam marker pens, so that's what I'm using for now. Again, I got this a while ago. This X1 is just black. It's kind of glossy. A little bit, so they do have flat black as well. The black one seems to be doing okay as well. It's mostly just the random colors that really ruin everything. The simple ones, they seem to do okay, so that's fine. Next thing, guys, you do need some paint remover. Now, two options here. If you're not that messy, here's some paint remover. But there's no brush inside this jar, so you're gonna have to be careful with this one. It's just a big jar of paint remover. This is from Mr. Hobby. But if you're a little bit worried and you can get your hands on some Gundam marker, then do that. This one, but even this Gundam marker is just a little pen, like a marker pen that you can just draw on the area you want to remove the paint. If you're not careful, you can still break plastic with this, and I know that from experience. The paint removers are strong enough to break plastic because they're burning away at the paint, and of course they're burning away at the plastic. So you're gonna have to be really careful and not apply too much of this. Be really careful of you. And after you apply it, make sure you don't put any force or strength on the plastic. You're gonna have to like very quickly rub off the paint and let it dry, or else you'll be damaging the plastic. Because you need a tiny brush, very tiny tip brush, doesn't matter what it is. Ideally you can get some paint dishes, these little metal dishes. They clean quite easily, these little paint metal dishes. So that's fine. Some people use like paper or whatever and they just throw it away when they're done. For touching up, I have this Gundam marker pen here. This one is GM12-200. GM12 is the color, 200 is the size of the tip. I just open that up. You can see that it is a pointy, so flat tip there. These pens are really good, but this is for touch-up only because the color is not quite even with this pen, so I can't actually use this pen to paint. Previously, I did use another grey pen, one of these marker pens. Squirt out all the paint and used it with a brush from my previous Dark Decade, a lighter grey, but I can't find that colour anymore. That's why I went out and got the Gaia colour and see how that works. I got a black marker pen. This kind of marker pen is really good. This is a GM48. That's important for touching up edges and stuff. Any yellow paint would do. From the game, it looks like all the yellow edges on the Dark Decade were also kind of chrome gold. So it's not sure because it's a PS2 video game, so you're not quite sure exactly what color it's supposed to be. So I'm sticking with yellow just because I don't want to go out and get another chrome gold coloring. And chrome coloring seems a bit risky for me, but if you're good with that kind of color, then by all means do that. Don't go with any flat gold, that definitely is the wrong color, but yellow could be right, so I just went with this yellow marker pen because I forgot to get more yellow paint, so that'll do. And finally, a GM01200. This is a tiny tip Gundam marker. This one is oil based, but you can see here it's a very, very fine line tip, so this is definitely useful for any hairline marks or whatever marks you mess up, or just refining the edges of the paint on your model kits, whatever. So this is an important pen. So that's a lot of paint going on, but there's still other things we need. We need one of these little what do you call these clip things. That's important because you need to use this to pull the double arm elbow joint from the lower arm, and of course get yourself a towel, okay, to put the towel between that and the clamps. So something like that. Just put it between the clamps so you're not scratching the plastic when you're ripping it out. So yeah, the elbow joints need that to pull out, or it's too hard. Alternatively, you can get a sharp pin from a screwdriver set that you might sometimes get. Like get something like, whoops, something like that, just a sharp pin, and you just dig it into the lower arm and just do that and pop it out. Because you are damaging the plastic there because you're stabbing a piece of metal into it, a pin into it, but it's a part of the arm that you're not going to see after you reassemble it, so it's okay. If the clamps aren't doing it, they're not pulling out, and you're afraid of snapping the joints, because that can happen, use a sharp pin to push it out. Get some files. Files are for after you cut the edges of the glue. There's always some glue residue left from the figure, so you just want to gently sand down just a tiny bit of that residue off. You want these cutting. I forgot what you call these cutting tools. Pliers? Are they pliers? You cut the. I'll say why, but you need these to cut parts of the figure. Not destroying the plastic, but you need it. And of course, you need one of these knives. Get a really fine one. This was given to me by a friend. He does model kits and stuff, and this is a really fine blade. The handle is cheap, but the blade itself is very fine, very sharp. So that's important to get. And the last thing you need, seems like a lot of stuff you need, but the last thing you need is a hairdryer that can go really hot, because even though I'm using knives and pliers and whatever, the heating up the figure with a hairdryer does make it a lot easier to cut the glue. And but do be careful when using a hairdryer, because there's certain edges of the plastic that can warp from the amount of heat. So even when you're blowing the hairdryer, get a towel, hold the figure, and make sure that the hairdryer is only blowing, focusing on the bits where you want to cut the glue and stuff. So yeah. Let's move on to the actual figure itself. Let's get away the easier things first, the one-off things. With the transparent blue paint, I just rubbed a bit of it over the decayed logos on the weapons. You can see it now, it's blue now, because the transparent blue is just enough to turn the pink or purple into blue. So I've done that with all three of these. So, because I was thinking there's no way I'll be able to paint this logo in that small scale. So, but there's issues there. You can see a bit of paint shining off on the side. So, I will have to get some matte black paint, just cover up the edges, the sides of it, so it's not as obvious that there's a bit of paint on it. But as of right now, it is successful in this method. I'm successful in this method in turning the pink into blue. The belt itself doesn't require any paint at all, but the buckle does. Now in the game, from what I can tell, I'm not losing that much detail by losing all the Heisei Rider logos, because it looks black in the game anyway. And using black paint there is all gloss and stuff. And because in the middle there, I did use the paint remover pen to remove all the pink transparent paint on from this buckle. So you can do that. It shouldn't affect it too much, but I was just being careful. I'm just thinking if I apply just the transparent blue paint on top, the color will get even darker and I just can't really see what's going on. But so I decided to remove the paint first, and by removing the paint I also removed a bit of the silver paint. That's why I said you need the silver just to touch it up if needed. So I touched up the silver there. I actually also touched up a bit of metallic green on top there for the dot there, but not necessary if you're careful enough. So just get a darker color metallic green and you'll be fine. I can do that with Gundam marker pen. So the belt is done. Put that back together. Put it back on the belt, on the buckle on the belt. So those are done. Okay. So let's go through. Let's go with the legs first. Let's start the bottom up. Legs are probably easiest bits to paint because they have the largest area. So you know, just get the yellow paint around there. Paint all of this with that neutral grey. It's kind of cool that the legs use a sort of ball peg. This is the lower legs there. So it uses that. So you can just pop this leg off and you can pop it back on when needed. So just follow the right way around. I'm just pop this back on now. It's harder than it looks. So the legs are back together there now. This is one of the first places I had to cut these hip pieces. Right here. Basically, there are 3 places you need to cut with these. So basically, both sides, on the side there, and the bottom there. And what you have to do is, what I did was I got the knife, and I just ran it down the side of the seams where the plastic joins. So just cutting it down the side, just a little bit. Being really careful, holding that knife like a pen, so like that, just holding it and just going just a little bit. And then use the hair dryer to blow it on a while so that the glue is loosened up. And then when I just felt it was enough, I just got this on the side where the edges are. The knife also helps put a little groove in it, so this can pop into that groove. And just clip the side. I didn't go all the way down on it. I just sort of got this and just went just about like a milli centimeter, just about that much. Just go clip, because I'm not really using this to cut. I'm actually using this to pry in and push it up. And at this point, you can probably get like a screwdriver, a flat head screwdriver, and just wedge it in. Then kind of like don't do too big actions. Just sort of wedge the screwdriver in. Then just gonna go little bit, and hopefully loosen the whole joints up. And if it's not loose enough, you can get the hairdryer and blow it a bit more before doing that. So the good thing about these S.H.Figuarts is all these joints there, you can see they actually have different shapes from front to back, so I'm not going to do a mistake. I definitely know this is the way it's going to go back in. And you may think, well, do I need to glue this back up? Probably not, because this piece right now feels very tight and secure when popping it back in. Probably will add a little bit of glue for it if needed, but as right now it's fine. And I said those Gundam marker pens are actually very important because during the cutting process and stuff, there's always bits that I seem to miss. There's a bit of pink there, so I'm going to have to get a black marker pen and just rub off that pink. But the leg is in there now. Now, if you do want to seal up these gaps again without, you can either use super glue or whatever, or if you're really sure you're never going to pull this part again, you can even use like a very small soldering iron and just go off the edge and melt the plastic. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so next bit, it's also an easy bit. Just the stomach area. Again, this is just a simple both side pink, just paint into dark grey. So I'm going to get the DK belt, I'm going to put that DK belt back on there, and I'm going to pop this body back on. Aha, there we go. Halfway there, I think. Okay, next is the DK's main torso. This is the complicated part. This is quite hard to do for me personally because my hands are still a little bit shaky at some points. But basically, just paint all the pink areas into this dark grey, this neutral grey. And there's nothing to cut on this bit, on this torso, that's good. It's just the yellow lines here, quite hard to paint. I messed up there again, a little bit of paint going there, so I'm going to get that black marker pen again and just fill in the gaps. And just a ball peg there, you can see a bit of pink inside, which is fine. I'm not going to bother painting that, it's no point because you're not going to see it. So those bits are fine. I just have to black this edge a little bit better, just make it a more even. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to you can just pop this body back onto the torso. Okay, now for the arms. Now the arms did get a little bit tricky, basically. So the upper arms on the body are fine. You just paint that. That's fine. And you got the shoulder pads. Just make sure you get the right side. Whichever side you're painting, dark gray and the yellow. I know there's supposed to be a line of neutral gray in the middle there, but I'm just gonna leave it as black because it looks fine. And I did paint the inside of the neutral gray as well, because that's gonna show up the pink inside there when you move the arms around and the armor flips up and down. So I painted inside there, and so just get the yellow, just the same as torso. So the shoulder pads are okay, and so here's how the arms are assembled. You have the lower arms. Thinking about Gaim now. I got the lower arms there, which is made of pretty soft-ish plastic. So and the plug in there is really tight. So that's why I said you need the clippers and the clamps. And I'm probably saying the name of those tools wrong, but you need the clamps to rip out the joints, and this might be easy damage here. So you got these joints here. And the white peg goes on top there. So there's a plug that goes into the arms there, and what covers that peg is there's also another piece. The upper arm is actually a hollow piece that plugs onto the joints to cover up the joints somewhat. Again, this is just remove the pink with the neutral gray. So now these things are labeled left and right. If everything goes well, everything should plug in just fine. So you plug the joints back into the lower arm, slide the white peg through the hole in this upper arm piece, and since the white peg doesn't have any bumps on it, it should simply slide back into the hole of the shoulder joint. Next up, the shoulder pads shouldn't be too hard. Just line the board joints up straight, just line it up with the shoulder pad, and it should just pop on right there. Just pay attention to what you're doing. Just trying to push it down straight, and then yeah, there you go. See, quite quickly put it up. And finally we move on to the head, which gets really tricky. So here we have the head. To take it apart, it was quite tough because there's a lot of glue in the head, and the head is quite fragile. Each head has these really thin blades for DK's helmet, these thin blades. The centerpiece is actually made out of transparent plastic to accommodate them painting either the purple Violet Emotion tab at the top of his helmet, or the transparent yellow. So this whole piece is transparent. I mean, when you do pull it out, it is glued down at the bottom, right there at the bottom. So that's where it's glued down, that's where it's really irritating. And then these are quite easy to snap and break. I almost snapped mine. I kind of bent it just a little bit, but it didn't snap. So I'm quite lucky. So you got to be paying attention to that. Now, the back of the heads are the same. And these are the same pieces. Back of the heads, and don't need to paint any of these because any purple you see here is just where the glue used to be. So you can sand that down if you want to, but it's flat enough. Doesn't need to. So I'm gonna get this normal head first, and basically what I did was, first of all, you need to remove this entire front section from the back of the helmet, and in order to do that, just plug that in. You don't even need glue to plug this back in, it's already tight. Basically, I damaged a little bit of the edge down there. That's why I put the knife in, or the screwdriver in, once there's enough gap, and just sort of twisting the screwdriver left and right just a little bit to push it off. So I might use the soldering iron just to melt that to make it a bit more flat again, maybe. So yeah, and so the clippers, first I cut this edge a little bit, cut it with the clippers, and then got a screwdriver to plug in there to wedge it a little bit, and hopefully the entire front panel of this should pop off. Now, and then it gets harder than this because I said these blades on DK's helmets, they're glued at the bottom. So what you have to do is you have to get that really fine knife, this really fine knife, or any very fine, because you don't want to put a big gap in his helmet. You have to get this knife. Imagine those panels are still there. Only the centerpiece is glued. So the masks are also glued on the side there. But that's easy to ply off, very easy to ply off. But what I did was I had to, this is the center bar, I actually slide this very thin blade in there like that, and just get it across, go down there like that, through the side. So because the gap here is so small, you really need a fine blade. So you're literally breaking the glue between here, oops, and the side like that of this piece. So you will be scratching most of the black paint off this plastic piece. Just come down there. And once I was done, I did sand down these edges just a little bit. Just a quick rub on one of the files to smooth it up for when I repainted black, to remove all the glue down there. And once you unglue this centerpiece, you can pop this off quite easily. Be careful. What I did was I popped it off. You have to, there's a peg on the top of the bar, so you just lift that up a little bit and the whole thing should just come off like that, because you need to make sure you cut enough of the glue. The glue is always a little bit uneven on these helmets, so sometimes it'll be harder, sometimes it'll be easier to pop off, so just be careful. So once the centerpiece pops off, it should be easy enough to lift one of the eye masks off. So what you do is you, because these pieces are also very thin and easy to snap, you don't want to snap these, so you just want to sort of push the back edges a little bit, just push a little bit. Be very gentle and push the whole thing off. So yeah, reassembling this shouldn't be too hard. So to put these back together, you want to put these two bigger horns on the side in, because they actually pop in and clip in. Just make sure you got them the right way around. You want the little bump there, the little triangle facing outwards, this little triangle there, and then you put these two pieces in, again, triangle facing outwards, not inside. And then finally, once all those are done, get this piece and put the face mask on. It should pop in easily. If you do forget the angle, the groove in these blades do follow the groove of the eyes, so just line them up, and then the last piece to go in should be the center plate. So this one's a bit tight, so I'm going to plug that in, push the top, pop, come on, get in there. And there you go. I just want to point out that I did not remove the green paint from the eyes, the compound eyes. I just painted blue over that because blue is a stronger color anyway. Blue has green in it. You know, blue plus yellow is green. So I didn't feel like I need to remove the green for that. And the blue cover is just fine. I did have to paint 2 layers of blue just to make sure it wasn't really green anymore, as you can see here. Still a little bit of green coming through, but I think it looks fine. I like the little bit of green coming through anyway. It gives it sort of layers, and that's pretty nice. So, of course, you can remove the paint if you want to. I do have to say, the Violent Emotion one, you do need to be a little bit more careful when popping the eyes off, because it does have the extra piece that goes up. Because if you remember, Violent Emotion actually has a bit more transparent eyes going a bit further up the center of the helmet. So that requires a little bit extra care because it has more pieces coming up. And yeah, that's Decade into Dark Decade. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll be able to make your own, and be careful about it because this figure isn't exactly cheap. But I hope this video was useful, and if you did find it useful, please click the subscribe button, like button, or leave a comment below how you feel about this guy. Did you paint the original Decade into a Dark Decade? Because I did, and I have a video on that as well, so you can check that out. Hopefully you can check out my other S.H.Figuarts videos and Kamen Rider toy videos without any ad block. I would appreciate that a lot. And most importantly, take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now. Stay with this video if you want to see the photos and showcase of this figure, and I'll also be uploading those photos eventually, not too long away, to Facebook. I'll be uploading the photos of this figure in the links below, as well as, of course, all the other S.H.Figuarts that I do in the links below, Flickr and Facebook. Bye bye.